Quickly in a lot of areas because since last night it's not been moving very quickly, so it's really had a chance to just pull that Atlantic water in towards the coast. Storm surge at Emerald Isle so far is 6.5 feet inundation, and you can clearly see the eye of the hurricane. It's a strong Category 1 hurricane just off the coast, but the strongest winds are going to be in the eye wall right around the eye, and so those are already making their way into the North Carolina coastline. As Ben mentioned, some of that rain now drifting into and across the border into South Carolina, where the winds obviously are gusty, much higher just to the east of those areas. But right now it's got top winds of 90 miles per hour moving to the west northwest at 6. So there's the latest forecast track just in from the Hurricane Center just before 5 o'clock this morning. By tomorrow morning, it is still going to be around Myrtle Beach and should be still a Category 1 hurricane, even though it should be onshore if it follows that track. Then it will begin to move a little faster by Saturday night. Should be over or around Columbia by Sunday morning. And if it follows this track, it's going to bring us a good chance of rain. If it goes to the left of the track, a good chance of some high rain totals in the western Carolinas. If it goes to the right of the track, our rainfall amounts will be lower. So the track is going to be critical on how much rain we get. Now, right now, the latest wind gust associated with Florence, Wilmington, gusting to 62 miles per hour at Myrtle Beach. Latest wind gust 41 miles per hour there, gusting to 52 miles per hour over towards Hatteras. Flash flood watch in effect for all of the area starting Saturday morning and lasting until late Monday.
Wow, so you can see that storm chaser kind of being, gosh, in chest deep water. This gives you an idea of the kind of storm surge Florence is packing. The storm chaser swept away, nearly swept away in North Topsail Beach. That's just north of Wilmington. He eventually did get back on his feet, as you see. Now, down the coast in South Carolina, the rain and wind are also picking up, especially the wind, I should say.
That's right. 7 News' Ben Hoover live in Myrtle Beach, where it's not a fun morning. Hey, Ben.
Fred and Julie, can I just first say, Christy Henderson, I hear you and I appreciate you. I feel like she is forecasting the weather for our folks back in the upstate, but I feel like she's communicating to us this morning and so helpful. Thank you so much, Christy. With what we're doing down here, I appreciate you for that. 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts here, as you've heard Christy say. We are not seeing the conditions. Let me just make it clear at this point, this early in the morning, we are not seeing the conditions like we're showing you in Wilmington. They are really getting the worst of Florence at this point. We could get some of those conditions later on today, later on tonight, really, with all that rain, potentially some storm surge. We just saw a Myrtle Beach police officer about 5 minutes ago with a huge spotlight go up and down the beach behind us. We're here at the famous Ferris wheel. I kind of buried the lead here a little bit with the Ferris wheel. We should have showed you that right off the top. But as I told you earlier this week, if you saw any of our live reports from down here in Myrtle Beach, they have stripped every single gondola off the famous Ferris wheel. According to local newspapers down here, this thing is built to withstand 135-mile-an-hour winds. We're seeing 40-mile-an-hour winds this morning. Let me tell you, that thing is rock solid. Rock solid. It has not moved in the wind at all. We had some rain bands just a few minutes ago, but those have just now stopped. Of course, this is a very slow-moving storm at some points, fast-moving at some points. But let's come up here on Ocean Boulevard before we send it back to you into the studio to just kind of give you a look. We're right near the Slingshot across the street on Ocean Boulevard at more of these, sort of amusement attractions. And so that's kind of the situation here from Myrtle Beach at this point. The sun has not come up, but as it begins to come up, I'm sure that we'll see a little bit more damage from anything that happened overnight, and we'll be sure to bring that to you right here on Carolina Morning. Fred and Julie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ben. Please stay safe out there. It really does look like a ghost town.